Alright, so we're finally able to do a real-world review of what it's like to have the Ford Performance exhaust on my 2016 Focus ST. Initially, when I got the exhaust, I wanted to give myself some time to think because I just wasn't sure about the whole thing, because I was getting there were some rattles, there were some sounds I didn't like. I wasn't sure if there was a drone or whatever. It just felt like I kind of ruined the car for a little bit. Initially, that's kind of how I felt. Now though, and I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I've never tuned a car before, and I always saw a high value in a car that was just stock and kept very clean. That's like kind of what I'm all about. But now that I have it and I can give you with an unbiased opinion of what it's like, this exhaust is exactly what I was looking for. When I'm driving on the interstate, there's no drone. When I'm in 6th gear or 5th gear, it's basically when I'm light on the throttle, there's not really much of a sound. There's just there's a little sportier, there's a sportier note, but it's not a drone for sure. I know what that sounds like. Also, when I'm on the exhaust, when I'm on the throttle, going all out, it's a great sound. And also, what I really like about it is when I'm just kind of putzing around, you know, if I'm in a shopping center or whatever, the little growls and burbles you get out of the exhaust kind of turn heads. Like, people are like, oh, what is that? Now, a lot of disappointment when they see it's just a Focus ST and they don't really know cars, but it's way better than it was stock. Because stock, again, it's not bad, but it's extremely restrictive and very, very quiet. And for a car like this, I mean, when you open it up, you want to be able to hear an exhaust that makes you happy, and that's what the Ford Performance exhaust has done. Also, after reading a bunch of forums and things like that, I think this exhaust is actually made by Borla and then rebranded, and some things have been done by Ford so they can go ahead and warranty it or whatever. I'm not sure if if you're hearing any difference coming through the camera right now, but in a little bit I'm gonna get on the interstate and do some pulls so you can hear that. Also, within that trip to the Ford dealership, as you guys all saw, I went to and I got the Mountune rear motor mount installed. And that is another thing that I'm going to do that in just a separate video. It'll probably be the video after this. But wow, that Escort just smoked me off the line. But overall, I mean, I can hear like the turbo whistle at very, very low RPMs, just cruising around. You get the burbles, you get some pops. It sounds really good. And I'm also aware that in the US, this is not a very expensive exhaust. Like I said, I went and got that performance package from Mountune. If you go on their site, you'll see that it shows it with the Mountune exhaust. All I did was ask Dan in the sales department, hey, can you swap the Mountune exhaust for the Ford Performance exhaust? He did it. I got it for $799, shipped and everything. And that came with the motor mount. I mean, it was just such a good value. I don't know how I could have passed that up. So that's what I paid for it. Installation ended up being $345. And I walk you through that video. Really, installing an exhaust is not hard. You just need to have the right tools. and I didn't, and that's why I didn't do it on my own. But overall, I would highly recommend this exhaust for this car. Now, you know, if you're older, you have a family or whatever, maybe it's not appropriate to get the exhaust, maybe your wife's not gonna like it, but if she doesn't like it, the solution to that is just get rid of her.
Standing outside, imagination's running wild as a fire, contemplating on my one true desire. The electricity surrounds us, it surrounds us. One swift move, I take her off her feet and fly like a dove. I swear I hear a voice from above. Her warmth is like a sunset, like a sunset. She fills me with the loving all day. 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 She fills me with the loving all day.
Funny, in the time I was sitting there doing those panning shots of the car, a Fiesta ST went by, a Golf GTI, a WRX, a Civic Si, and I think that was it. I was like all in, it took me like, you know, 5 minutes, and all of those cars just went by. There's a nice little merge ramp I wanted to. I fucking love this car. Just went around that turn at a nice speed, and I wish so badly there were more twisties over here, because anywhere in the Phoenix Valley, if you want to go drive, you have to drive to that location. Where I used to live back in western Pennsylvania, I'd pull out of my driveway and I was on the Nürburgring of Pennsylvania. I mean, it's just, I miss that so much. But I don't miss the cold winters, so that's why I'm here. So let's continue to talk about this exhaust. Again, I don't have any regrets buying this exhaust. I think it's the perfect exhaust. But another thing is that's very important to me anytime I'm upgrading something is it has to be aesthetically pleasing. But it fits the exhaust outlets perfect on the car. There's some exhausts that are, like these are 4.5-inch tips on that, and the ones that, some of them are like 2.5-inch, 3-inch, it doesn't fill it out. There's all this leftover space, and that kind of bothered me. So luckily I just got, I think these are the biggest tips on any exhaust aftermarket offered for the Focus ST, and they fill it out really nicely. They don't look too big, they just take up all the space, and it looks great. Now, performance-wise, does this add power? It probably, after looking at what the stock exhaust is compared to this, it's gonna cut some weight, and it also is gonna add some power just simply for the fact that it's letting air get out of the engine quicker. There's just less restrictions. When you look down through the stock exhaust where that large baffle is, it's not a direct shot through. There's all kinds of shit going through there. So this exhaust, you look through it, it's just straight through the pipe. It's not a straight pipe, but it's just less restrictive. And for that matter alone, it adds power, and it makes the throttle response a little better. I've noticed the turbo comes on a little more abruptly, I guess I would say, and it just makes the car a little more alive. And also, to your senses, the exhaust is a lot more prominent, so to your senses, it gives you a better sensation while driving the car. Those are all good things. So, I mean, overall, the price was good. It looks good on the car. It's added some you know, it's added some performance, it's added a little bit of more spirit to the car, because just with a stock exhaust like this, I mean, on my Civic, I was pleased with the exhaust. It was perfect. I didn't want to change it. I didn't want to ruin the sound. I thought it was great. It was stock. This car, it was just like, you know, no one even knows if you're driving by. It's so quiet stock. And if that's how you want it, fine. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that that's how I wanted it. I wanted it to be changed. It's not for everyone to get an exhaust. But the exhaust I got was exactly what I'm looking for. If you're looking for no drone, if you're looking for a little extra added power, this is the one, and again, it looks great. So that's pretty much what I have to say on the exhaust. Now, I will say I wish I would have done the exhaust and the rear motor mount separately to feel them separately, because the rear motor mount, I would say, is a more important upgrade than the exhaust, and it's not expensive. It's another thing that is $159 on their site, on Mountoon's site. So, and I think it does more for you in terms of performance, just reducing that torque steer, and it makes a big difference. So that's going to be in my next video, and so right after this video goes up, this video will come out probably a day later.
It's floating all around through the atmosphere, a feeling that becomes a passion so clear. It's the energy inside you.